Whenever you apply the brake, crank your vehicle first time in the morning. Vehicle is not going to move at all. Battery is not going to charge. So one of the cause of the engine missing is, before that, let me show you something. All the brakes work whenever you put the lid back. Lesser friction in those mechanics. Just all set, nothing else. It's a very simple job. Welcome back to a new episode of Jimny book series, and it is going to be very interesting. So it is needless to say, we all actually use the car on the daily basis. Maybe it's a Jimny, maybe some other car. If you know more about your vehicle, suppose you are traveling alone or with the family, there are so many do-it-yourself things, then definitely it is going to be beneficial for you. If you stuck somewhere, there are a lot many things you already know about the vehicle, and probably you can fix few things and you can tackle those things smartly. So let's start the video without wasting time. So hope you have seen how the engine have started and how actually it behaved. But let me give you one more glimpse because I want to convey something to you. You can see the blue light here, which means the vehicle is in cold state. If sometimes you see the red light here instead of the blue one, means engine is getting hotter, and this is not a good sign for your vehicle. So let's start the vehicle. I'm starting the vehicle now and see the RPM. It goes up to 1500 approximately, then slowly coming down. Slowly it's coming down, and let's see how many seconds it's going to take. Even though this engine is in the cold state, and right now the outside temperature is approximately 19 degree, you can say, right? And overnight the vehicle was here. It took approximately 30 seconds. Now it's coming down to almost 800, 850, and to achieve 750 it will take some time. So slowly and gradually it come to 750 or 800. This blue light will go off once the engine of the vehicle is getting hotter and with the optimal temperature. So my friends, you have seen the vibration level of the engine. When I crank the engine, you have seen the lot of vibration in the engine. There is a huge vibrations like this, and after that it's starting calm down. Whenever the engine started, there's a very high RPM. So maybe the RPM of the engine go up to 1200, even more than that, and that is the reason there's a lot of vibrations. And after that, slowly and gradually, probably in a 30-second time or a 1 minute time, depends on the weather conditions. If it is a very hot weather, then it basically calm down very sooner. If it is very cold weather, then actually it takes a lot of time to calm down, because to operate the engine optimally, it should have some temperature inside, and that temperature takes a little bit time, and the circulation of the oil and the circulation of all the fluids inside the engine, it takes time to actually rotate. So that is why there is a lot of vibration when you start the engine. If you see, now engine is a lot calmed down. Still there are some vibrations, right? If you just baseline the vibration, how much of vibrations are there in your car, whether it is Jimny or any other car, whenever you open the hood and you can watch if there are a lot of vibration in the engine. And if there is a lot of vibration in the engine, even after the engine calmed down, then something wrong with the engine, or maybe the mounting of the engine, or maybe something else. Always notice what is the baseline of the engine vibration. That always give you an edge understanding how the engine of the car is performing. You will understand this with experience, right? And you know, experience comes with the time. And how the experience will come when you watch the engine of the car very frequently, couple of times in a month, or maybe 4 times in a month, and you make a baseline, and you know how many vibrations are there in the engine. And you can say, no, there is a less vibration and there is a more vibration. Because it's a very easier to say, no, there is a lot of vibration, there is a very less vibration, right? But you have to do the baselining. And there are a lot of vibration in the engine. You also need to check the exhaust system, how the exhaust is behaving. For example, if you start the vehicle in the morning, if it is a petrol engine and give you a lot of smoke, that means something wrong with the engine. And especially for the diesel engine, when you start the engine, possibly there is some smoke, but that smoke should not be a black smoke. If there's a black smoke, that means the engine is not a good shape. So these are some visible signs, and with our senses, we can check whether engine is performing right or not. It is not just that vehicle have so many sensors. We also have some sensors, and we can use those. And in case if the exhaust is smelling very badly, that means definitely something wrong with the engine, or maybe with the last fuel you filled in. So be very careful. So hope you understand. So let's move to the next one. Well, my friends, the next thing is going to be very, very important. One thing I just want to tell you, whenever you open this hood, don't open this hood when your engine is started. Just in case, you need to open it when the engine is started. In case of ladies, keep your hairs away, keep your shawl away, keep your dupatta away from the engine bay. And if you're a man, then keep your mufflers or any sort of cloth, loose cloth, and can go inside the engine bay. Don't use that at that moment, because in the running engine, we have a fan here and we have so many motors here which actually entangles any loose cloths inside the engine bay, and which is not good at all, not for your car and definitely not for you when you are actually inclining like this. Now let's talk about the coolant first. See, coolant is a very important aspect in engine. Apart from the air and the fuel, there are two more things which are actually there always. One is the oil, another is the coolant, and actually these two rotates in a different channels inside the engine. They never mix with each other. So job of the coolant is to keep this engine cool. The meaning is the cooling temperature that should be between some ranges, and ideally that coolant only cools the engine for the operating temperature, and that ideal operating temperature is somewhere around 80 to 90 degrees. If it goes higher, in that case your radiator actually sends more coolant to the engine, they supply more coolant to the engine, and the hot coolant actually comes back. And this is how this whole cycle actually works. And to pump this coolant, and there's a water pump inside the engine. So apart from the technical stuff, let's talk about the coolant, how to maintain the coolant and how to check the coolant, and what are the do's and don'ts whenever we check the coolant. So now, my friends, this is the radiator, and the job of the radiator is to cool down the hot coolant which is coming from the engine. Also send the cold coolant to the engine. So the real job of the radiator is to cool down the coolant. There is a fan also with it to cool down the coolant further. And you can see there a cap here. That red sign shows in the hot engine, never ever open this lid, because the coolant inside is very, very hot. Maybe the temperature of the coolant is 120 degree, 130 degree, maybe more. It depends upon. So never open this particular lid. If you want to open this lid, the only one best way is let the cool down your engine, then only open this particular lid if you really want to open it for something, or ask for the help of the expert. They know how to open it in the hot state. And you're seeing one pipe here, right? That pipe is going in this particular bottle, and that is a reservoir. This green one you can open, but again, whenever you open it, there is some hot air comes out from this when it is a hot engine, and open it very slowly and gradually, right? If at all you want to fill some coolant, right? So this is basically the coolant reservoir, and the job of the coolant reservoir is whenever there is a less coolant inside the radiator asks more coolant from the reservoir, and reservoir actually fills more coolant inside this radiator, and it actually fills entire system with a sufficient coolant. But one thing you need to keep in mind, on this reservoir bottle as well, there is a minimum and the maximum mark. I mean, there's a line and it is written full. The meaning of the full is not that you fill the bottle. No, there's a full mark. The coolant should be at that level only. If you overfill this coolant bottle, the whole coolant will go waste, or it is not good for the entire system. But also, if it is below minimum mark, in that case, you need to top up the coolant. And you have to top up the coolant of the same specification, which is recommended by Suzuki, and this is a blue coolant. And if you want to check which coolant it is, then you can go to Suzuki, or you can check the owner's manual. Never let this coolant level below minimum, and never fill the coolant above the full mark. So hope you understand that. There is one more important thing I want to tell you. Never ever use pure water as a coolant in the engine. It is bad because of two reasons. One, it rusts your engine, rusts your radiator. If the life of the radiator will not be much, and it basically damage soon and suddenly, then it is not going to be good for your engine. Even your engine can also damage, or it can be seized. And second reason is, see, boiling temperature of the water is just 100 degrees Celsius. It is very high in case of coolant. This is a reason the coolant has been used. Some coolants are pure pre-mixed coolants, and some coolants have to mix later. So in Jimny, I believe it is a coolant which is mixed with the 1:1 ratio with water. But not all the coolants are like this. In some vehicles, there's a pre-mixed coolants where you need not to mix any water. So just refer to your owner manuals, or ask your manufacturer, whether it is Jimny or whether it is Tata. So hopefully you understand that. So let's move to the next one. There may be many more fluids actually in your vehicle which have been used. It depends upon vehicle to vehicle. For example, in this car, there is no steering oil reservoir because Jimny is having the electronic steering. But in some cars where there is a hydraulic steering, you will see that reservoir there. And in that case, you also need to take care about that particular oil level, which is a steering oil. But in Jimny, we don't have that. Apart from that, we have this bottle, which is windscreen washer bottle, and never ever add on soap or shampoo in it. If you want to add on shampoo, then you have to add a specific shampoo of windshield washer, not any other shampoo from home. No pouches. That is not good for visibility, I'm telling you. This is about your windshield washer. Apart from that, probably you can't check the gearbox levels your own. So for that, you have to probably visit your nearby service center, especially before your big tour. There are a few more oils basically you need to take care of. There's a rear differential, there's an oil inside, there's a front differential, there's an oil inside. At the center of the vehicle below, there's a transfer case, there's an oil inside. So these all three oils you also need to maintain. So what I suggest is, apart from your regular services, whenever you get a chance and you feel you need to get this checked, and before your big tour, so get these oils checked, and that is very, very important. So if all the required fluid levels in this particular vehicle are at optimal state, in that case, I think you will really enjoy the drive and you will enjoy the trip. And this is a key I'm telling you. So be aware of yourself. More you know, the better you drive. So enjoy that drive. So let's close the hood now and move to the next topic, a very important one, which is a battery, because I never talked about the battery before in this video. So battery is a very important aspect, especially in winters. In summers, battery operation is very much optimal, right, if health is good. But in winter, even a good battery can play weirdly, right? So one thing you can ensure from your side, all the battery terminals, I mean there are just two terminals, negative and positive, so both the terminals should be fastened very tightly. Actually, these should be very tight, and it is not going to give you shock. This is just a DC, right? You just need to do is hold the terminal wire and just try to move it and put a pressure on that. If it is moving, actually that terminal is moving actually, and that is loose, it is a time you have to fasten that, and that is very much required. And there must not be any sulfate deposit on the terminals. If it is there, the best thing is take a couple of liters of water, which is very, very hot, boiling water, and put that water basically on the terminals. That actually cleans, and you can take a old toothbrush and you can clean it. And this is the best way and the best remedy. And there is one more thing about the battery. Battery terminals actually need some kind of lubricants, and that's specifically for the battery terminals. And apply those lubricants. You can buy it from outside. If you don't want to buy it, that's fine. From any workshop outside, you can ask them to spray that lubricant on the terminals, and that is very much required. And you can do it actually at least once in 3 months. But in winters, battery need more care. So be very careful about that. As I said before, always watch the exhaust pipe, any bad odor or what kind of smoke actually coming out, and always feel the engine vibration. That is again very much required. Be vigilant about that. If there is any extra noise, then you come to know there is any extra noise in the vehicle apart from the normal NVH level, and that is a time you should be very careful. So this is how you can avoid many expenses, and this is how you can avoid many efforts, extra efforts, or any unscheduled maintenance work, right? Any unscheduled maintenance visit to the service centers. So let's go. It's a time to conclude the video and be with me. So I try to cover many things. I'm not saying this is the end of the list. Maybe there is many more things. I tried my best to cover most important aspects. More you know about your vehicle, better you can tackle that actually in very different situations, especially when you are alone somewhere and you really want to handle it. So better you have a knowledge about your vehicle. That means you can handle it, tackle it better. So hopefully, my friends, you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, like my video, share my video with your nears and dears, subscribe my channel, and currently you are watching Jimny Cookbook series, where we talk about everything about Jimny, and we are going to lay out many things about the Jimny going forward, and you will see so many such videos in the Jimny Cookbook series. So it's a time to go. I'll see you next time. Take care of you. Bye bye.